One of the hardest things to do as a Christian is to share your faith. You would think it's so easy, right? That, this is the thing that yet it's so hard to find the right, opportunities in a conversation, the right timing when to share your faith. And oftentimes it can be really discouraging when, you have that moment, but you don't really know how. So that's why today I have 3 easy steps for you to know how to share your faith. Step number 1 is to ask. What does this mean? Ask someone, maybe you're in mid-conversation, right? Or maybe there's someone that you see nearby and maybe you just want to share Jesus with them, you feel it on your heart. Ask. Ask means to go up to them and ask them what they believe in, right? Hey, are you religious? What do you believe in? Believe in Jesus? Number 2 is to admire. So this could be something like, hey, say someone's Buddhist, right? And they're telling you about their faith. They're telling you right after you ask them. And you're like, hey, that is super cool. Like, I really like that about that. Or, hey, that's sick. That's fascinating, right? Just kind of give them some sense of feeling like, hey, they're really invested in this. And they actually care about this, right? Because say you're telling a conversation, you ask them if they're religious, and you just go straight into, yeah, I believe in Jesus, you should believe in Jesus, right? You're going to come off kind of harsh. You might come off harsh, and someone's not going to be as willing to accept what you have to say if you're just talking at them or you're kind of lecturing them, right? But if you admire what they have to say and you show that you're interested in the conversation, they're going to be much more willing to hear what you have to say. And number 3, the final thing is to admit. Admitting is just you simply saying like, dude, that's so cool. I love that what you believe in. But actually, yeah, I believe in Jesus. Like, Jesus died for me. And this can mean sharing your testimony with them. If it's quick, right, you can even summarize it, be like, hey, like, for example, Bryce Crawford, I've seen him do this, where he's like, dude, there was a time I used to suffer from anxiety and depression, and one day I was going to take my life, and I went to a Waffle House, and there I had an encounter with Jesus, right? That's his testimony, and he made it short and easy to say. So if it comes up in conversation, he can just easily pray for someone. And kind of the icing on the cake is to pray for someone, right? You can offer, and this isn't a requirement, but it's a good thing to do, right? Because I've seen Bryce Crawford do that. I've seen him do that. And you can do it also, right? You can offer someone, just be like, hey, is it cool if I pray for you? Is it cool if I place my hand on you and pray for you? And most oftentimes people are going to say yes. And if not, be like, okay, that's okay. And if you're in the conversation and someone just is their heart is completely hardened, then that's okay too, because you can pray that God softens their heart. Because a lot of people will hear and they will still turn away. I forget what verse it is, but a lot of people will hear God's voice, but they will still turn away. They'll still remain unbelief. And you have to realize that at the end of the day, you can't change someone's heart. I had a friend who I was trying to share God with, and I realized that no matter how much I shared the truth with him, he can only accept that truth on his own. I couldn't change his heart. I couldn't force him to believe in God. So remember that you can't force someone to believe in God, but you can sure try. And that's the best you can do is try. Now, I want to give you guys a quick example conversation, and this is when I've tried this method, the 3 steps, the AAA steps, right? Let's just call it that. And I want to tell you guys about this. So there's this guy at the fair, and I noticed he had a Star of David necklace on. I was like, hey, are you Jewish? And he was like, yeah, dude, I've been Jewish. Yeah, I'm Jewish. I was like, how long? And, starting to have a conversation about that. He's like, dude, yeah, pretty much like my whole life. I'm like, that's sick. Like, everything you say, I'd be like, dude, that's super cool. And he was telling me a little bit about his faith, and I was like, dude, that's really cool. Like, I love that. And then that was the admire part. And then it came to the end, kind of that where there's the admit, and I was like, yeah, dude, this is what I believe in. And that's kind of an example conversation of how it can go. But go try that out for yourselves. Let me know how it goes. Yeah, thank you so much for watching.